they're only halfway through with what they want. If there's anything on the wish list, they're going to get it before this next session's over, right? They've got 5 or 6 weeks, whatever it is, they're going to get it done.
Well, I think this is the way to frame it, right? Is that there's a lot of people who are heavily dissatisfied with what they've gotten out of state government since the Democrats took the full trifecta and have complete control. And one of the common things you hear, and by the way, I'm not talking about Republicans, I'm talking about their own constituency
Well,
groups.
you need to expound on that. How can they not be happy? We had the largest budget ever, and then they spent $17 billion more than that. Even though you had
Hmm.
$17 billion extra, they raised taxes by $8 billion. They
Hmm.
got codified basically the ability to have abortion in this state. They got marijuana, which is just a cluster, and we'll talk about that. Who's not happy if you're on the Democratic side? What else do you got to do other than maybe kick all the Republicans out of the state? Literally, and then we'd be happy.
Educators. Educators
Okay.
are livid because they're not getting the pay that they expected. They're not getting the subsidies that they expected in terms of the cross subsidy paying for special education.
Hmm.
They're not getting what they hoped they would out of having complete control with their own union, Education Minnesota, having total dominance over the process. And the reason why is because the Democrats got elected by making promises to everyone and everything under the sun. And even with their endless capacity to spend, there's still a functional reality in terms of like how much money you have to use. And so they didn't have enough to spread around to all of their patrons. And so people are left holding the bag and wondering, why didn't I get what I wanted? And that when this is pointed out, when people raise this issue to Democrats, what they say is, well, this is a long drawn out process. We're not going to get everything you wanted in 1 year. We had to do what we could do with our ability, and yet at the same time, we see where their priorities lie.
Hmm.
Their priorities do not lie with calling a special session to fix their ridiculous school resource officer language that was shoved through the process.
Yeah.
It was a huge priority to shove that language through the process. It's not a priority to fix it.
Fix
We're
it.
not going to have a special session to do it. But what we are going to do is we're going to have an interim committee hearing to push forward a bill that legalizes killing people. That's a priority. That's something that's at the top of the list for the Democrat Party.